Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber, and thanks for joining us. Big day today as our coverage continues in Ada County, Idaho, for the trial of Lori Vallow Daybell. You know what I'm talking about, the big case we've been following here on the network. Let's talk about what happened on Tuesday. Lori's surviving son, Colby Ryan, took the stand as a state witness. Now, we have to remember that Lori Vallow Daybell herself is charged with the murders of her two other children, Tylee Ryan, J.J. Vallow, but also her husband's first wife, Tammy Daybell. She's charged with conspiracy to commit murder of Tammy Daybell. Now, our eyes on the ground, our ears in the courtroom, everything for us. Gigi McKelvey joins us live from outside the Ada County Courthouse, Gigi, your reporting has been excellent. I encourage everyone to follow you on Twitter as you give these live updates about what is happening. I'm still bummed that we don't have cameras in that courtroom. We do get the audio later on, but it's just not the same. But you have been doing a play-by-play analysis of what is happening. So talk to us about Colby Ryan. So anybody who's been following the Lori Vallow Daybell saga knows he is a key player. Her son, what were the main takeaways from his testimony in open court?
A lot of hurt, a lot of anger. Those were two emotions that I saw throughout his testimony yesterday. He got very emotional when they showed a big picture of Tylee and J.J. on the screen. He started crying, and the big jailhouse call was the big reveal yesterday, Jesse.
Talk to me about it. What was the call for people who don't know?
Well, the call was typical Lori. Colby's just calling her out. You murdered my siblings. You buried them in your husband's backyard, and you left. And, of course, in true Lori fashion, who is exalted and translated and above everybody, kept telling him, you don't know why. You weren't there. You don't know what happened. And you could hear Colby's frustration where he actually at one point says, I would like to get a shovel and smash your new husband in his face. So he was letting her know he was angry. At one point in a very bizarre exchange, Colby's being very serious about stuff that's a heavy issue. Lori laughs out loud to him on the phone. I thought it was somebody inside the courtroom and was looking around, as were a couple of other people, but just not taking it seriously. She would go from being very sad to laughing almost in his face, you know, if you could picture it. And he's just very hurt, very angry, and doesn't understand why, and said, you know, you took care of us. So telling her who she was compared to where she is now.
Okay, let's just be clear about this phone call. Do we know when it was recorded, at what point in the case? I mean, were the bodies discovered yet? And did she ever at any point in this call signify that she knew what happened to the kids or was a part of what happened to the kids, or was she very evasive?
I'd say more than anything, it's almost as if she was alluding to the fact that she knew. She said, you don't know what they went through. You weren't there, which was very cryptic. But she didn't really avoid anything. She said she had Jesus on her side, and Colby said, well, say right now, say his name, that you have Jesus on your side. And she just said that in the end, she will be essentially be justified, that Jesus would take her in and that kind of thing. Just very all over the board, really, that call.
Okay, you know what I'm going to ask you. I know what I think about it. What was the jury's reaction to listening to this phone call?
Well, they were shocked to see Colby on the stand. As you know, I really think a lot of these people have no clue about Lori Vallow, probably assumed Tylee and J.J. were her only kids. So seeing her adult son come in and testify shocked a few of those jurors. During the phone call, you could see the pain on their face for Colby in just having to sit here and endure this, where she's just not showing an ounce of remorse. And I don't think that was lost on the jury. They looked at Colby, they looked at Lori to see her reaction. At times, she did cry, not during the phone call. She wiped her face. A couple of people that could see her face when he walked in, she said, "There's my baby," or something to that effect. But I think that phone call was very impactful on the jury because they heard with every sentence her just not owning up to anything. In fact, more demeaning Colby in a way of, you don't understand yet.
That's my baby. What was his demeanor towards her? I mean, he looked at her at any point?
Back to the one question you asked. I don't know when this phone call was recorded. I think it may have been more recent. He talks about coming to Idaho, and he wants he wants Lori to look him in the eye. But as far as the demeanor between Colby and Lori got emotional at times listening to him testify, wiping away tears. Colby not happy to be there and did not look at his mom except for a couple of times when he knew she wasn't looking at him. And then when he got up to leave that courtroom, when he was released from his subpoena, he turned to his mom and gave a look that I only saw that he gave Chad Daybell in Rexburg when she was extradited and arraigned. It was a look of disgust and just, I don't want to say hatred, but very much consolidated all the pain and emotions he's feeling in one look he gave her that lasted for about 3 to 4 seconds as he walked away. And
that's not surprising. He had a very close relationship with his sister Tylee. I think also a close relationship with J.J. as well. You know, there's so much to break down in terms of the phone call, but when he was actually on the stand and testifying, what were some other notable moments that came out from his actual testimony, not just the phone call?
Well, you know, on direct, it was more of just she was a good mom, but cross-exam was really, I think, where they made a little leeway with him in bringing back some words from the book he had written, as well as the Sins of Our Mother documentary that he participated in, bringing his own words back to him where he said she was a great mom. She took care of all of us. She protected us. And so they brought those things up, and he agreed that he said those things. I think just after time, it's become more real. That Netflix documentary, from what I understand, was filmed over a couple of years. So the emotions obviously change over that time. Yeah. And we saw yesterday where he was, which is devastated and mad at his mom from what it seems.
By the way, Colby Ryan aside, there were some fireworks, I understand, yesterday in terms of someone getting kicked out of the courtroom. Am I right about that? What happened?
Yeah, they did remove one person who was accused of possibly taking a photo of Lori the day before. I know the person. I don't think that they would do that, but they were removed, and I believe they're going to have a meeting this morning to see about getting back in. They're very serious about it because they are allowing laptops and cell phones. We've had problems with everybody's ringtones going off from, you know, Janis Joplin to rap to just the annoying standard iPhone ringtones, and they've been very understanding, but very strict in there as far as picture taking. When we stand for the jury or the judge, we are not to have our phones or laptops in our hand because they're going to assume you're taking pictures, and they will confiscate your devices to check.
Listen, you're not supposed to break the courtroom rules. You're not supposed to take photos. Having said that, I think a photo of Lori would be much better than the courtroom sketches we've been getting. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be critical, but that is so not accurate about what Lori Vallow Daybell looks like. I don't even have to be in that courtroom, and I know that's not an accurate sketch. Gigi, I won't even have you respond to that. You're a good person. You're not as mean as I am. But anyway, that's a separate issue. Let me ask you this. Today, okay, what do we expect? Who's going to take the stand? Any idea about where the prosecution's case is going next?
Yeah, to me, it's flying by. I mean, we've already heard from when they found the kids' bodies, the welfare check. We've already heard from some family. So I know that yesterday some of the testimony was set up about financials, bank account statements, where the guy on the stand sent the subpoenas, but he didn't actually review those documents. So I expect somebody from the FBI maybe today will come on and start talking about all the money transfers between these accounts, where Lori, just weeks before Tylee was murdered, signed over Tylee's Social Security benefits from Tylee's bank account into hers. I think we're going to get a little bit deeper into that. But, you know, the defense really isn't doing any lengthy cross-exams on any of these witnesses. I think it's moving this trial right along. So I'm not sure that this 8-week estimate they have is even close. I think we could be in a couple of weeks getting wrapped up a bit.
Real quick, before I let you go, Gigi, what about the defense? Do we have any idea if they're going to call, who they're going to call, how many witnesses, or is it going to be a relatively short defense case?
Totally just rumor that I've heard by now, but I've heard if they call any witnesses, it would not be many. Mm-hmm. So it looks like this is mainly going to be a state's case. I think the defense is happy death is off the table. Yep. This is all very damning evidence against her. It's hard to really fight it. All they can do is call in the credibility of some of the witnesses that they've done. And so I don't know. I think this case is going way faster than anybody anticipated because the defense is just happy she's not facing death. And maybe they know in the back of their minds that's the best they could have got with the evidence that we've seen so far.
Well, I tell you what, Gigi, the lawyer hat on me, talking to different professionals about this. People say there could be reasonable doubt. She might have known aspects about what was going on, but how much beyond a reasonable doubt was she part of the actual murder or the conspiracy to commit the murder of these people? Some people are wondering, is the prosecution doing enough to show it? They're showing, assumptions that she might have known, innuendos. Personally, I think that they're presenting a pretty strong case, but we will wait and see. Gigi McKelvey, thank you. Great reporting as always. And I know you have to head back into that courthouse right now. Thanks so much, Gigi.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right, everybody. So I'm going to be signing off, but here's the good news. After the break, we are going to head into the trial of Letitia Stout. A lot to cover in that trial, so don't go anywhere. We're going to have a lot more for you here on Law and Crime. Stay with us.